Hey guys, thanks for joining us on our channel at Flippin Hippos. I'm Star the Flippin Hippo, and today is Tuesday, September 24th, and I am finally going to tackle the topic about the promoted listings. Before I get started, I do want to preface this video by telling you guys I'm not here to tell anyone how to run their business. I'm not going to tell you to turn your promoteds off. I'm not going to tell you to turn them on or leave them on. I just want to talk about the issue, give you guys some information and some facts for you to chew on. You can take everything I say in this video and use it to make an informed choice and a decision that's best for you and your business. Everyone's business model is different. Everyone's at a different place in their reselling journey. What works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. So I'm not here to tell you whether or not you should be using promoted listings. I'm just here to talk about the changes and the concerns that have been popping up over the past week. There's two separate issues here. The first one is the fact that you're no longer going to be getting double listings if you do the promoted listings. You will no longer get your promoted and your organic, two separate ones in the searches. That is completely separate and different from the other issue of the concern that the ad blockers are going to be blocking your promoted listings. They are not one and the same. They are two different issues. I've seen a lot of conversations going on in the reselling groups and on other YouTube channels in the comments where people are kind of confusing the two issues and thinking they're one and the same. They're not. So last week they started implementing the fact that they're not doing the double listings anymore, and it was discovered that certain ad blockers may block promoted listings or do block, but they're separate issues. So let's first talk about the double listings. It was announced in the fall seller update that they would no longer be doing the double listings, so none of us should have been surprised. We weren't blindsided. We all knew it was coming. And they started it last week, just like they said they would in the update. They said they would start implementing this change in September, and they did. What does this mean? Well, according to the update and what eBay has said, they're going to no longer give you double listings. If you have promoted listings on, they're going to either show the promoted or the organic. If you turn the promoteds off, clearly only your organic listings are going to show because you don't have promoted listings. But if you have promoted on, it's either or. And I've seen a lot of misinformation going around about this topic. People seem to think that eBay moving forward is only showing promoted listings so that if you don't have them on, you're not seeing it all. And that is not true. That is not the case. eBay said in the seller update, and what they are doing moving forward is doing either or. You're just not getting two listings anymore. You're getting one or the other. Or if you have promoteds turned off, clearly you're only getting your organic listing seen. But it's not that they're only showing promoteds. That's something I actually wanted to really talk about and debunk here today because I've seen it over and over and over again. People are freaking out that they're not going to show anything but promoted, and that's just not true. It's organic or promoted. How they're going to choose, no one really knows. Whether they have an algorithm in place that's going to randomly just, oh, here's a promoted, there's an organic, here's an organic, there's a promoted. Nobody knows. I mean, a lot of people seem to think if you have the promoted listings on, you're going to only have your promoted shown because eBay only makes money if your promoted listings result in a sale, right? So there's people that seem to think that, but there's no real information on how they're going to choose which one's going to be shown. I would just like to add, there's other factors in getting your listing seen and making sales. So you don't have to totally freak out and make your decision now on whether or not you're going to leave your promoteds on or turn them off or stop doing them. Obviously, when a buyer first goes into eBay and types in their search, if they look for a pink Harley Quinn t-shirt, that first search result is going to have some promoted, some organic, in whatever order and however eBay is going to choose it and put them there. Yes, that's affected by this new thing that they're doing. But once the buyer starts choosing filters, you could pop up higher. So if a buyer chooses Harley Quinn pink t-shirts with free shipping, and your organic one is showing and this one over here is promoted, but it's not free shipping, they're going to fall off. They're not going to be seen anymore. So you're no longer competing with this guy. If they filter for size small, large, extra large, even if your organic listing is competing with someone else's that's promoted, if one of your item specifics is different or one of the filters that the buyer turns on is different, theirs goes away. And you're not actually always going to have your organic listing competing with the promoted listings. I don't know that most buyers search for an item and then just kind of dig through thousands of listings. I kind of feel, and this is how I shop, I kind of feel like buyers do the initial search and then they go over and start doing the filters and filtering it down to what they need by size, new or used. Does it have free shipping, free returns? Does it have best offer? There's lots of different options there when you're looking for something to buy. Priced lowest, including shipping to highest, priced highest to lowest. So once buyers start doing that, if your organic listing was competing with a ton of promoted listings, they may go away. Does that make sense? So you're not always going to be throttled if you turn your promoteds off and you only have organic listings, or if some of your listings are showing the organic one instead of the promoted, you're not always going to be throttled. Buyers typically do turn on filters when they're shopping. I don't know about you, but if I'm looking to buy a pair of jeans, I filter down as much as I can. I want it to be only looking at my size, the style that I enjoy wearing, probably used because it's a little bit cheaper to get name brands that way. So I wanted to, number one, debunk they're only showing promoteds. That's not true. And talk about the searches. So this not having a double listing anymore and all of that, absolutely when a buyer searches for something, you could be pushed down in a search. Absolutely. But once they start doing the filters, you guys, if you've got free shipping and all the priority listings in the world don't, you're going to be the only one they see. Does that make sense? So what you can do moving forward is continue to list with all of the best practices I've been teaching you guys for years now. Make sure that you're using the secret formula for the perfect eBay title and cram in as many keywords as you can up there. Put them in the order they're supposed to be in. There is a formula for it. If you don't know it, let me know in the comments and I will link you directly to my video that shows you how to do the formula and have the perfect title. And then use your keywords. If you're listing something that is new to you, take a couple seconds to do the research to get the good keywords. If you're listing jeans, you want to have boot cutter, flare, straight leg, skinny, mid-rise, low-rise, dark wash, medium wash. All of those specifics in the title as keywords. If you're doing shoes, clearly you want to have wedge, platform, loafers, oxfords, lace-up, wingtip, all of those things that can describe an item that you're listing. If you're listing plush, you want to make sure that you have the brand, maybe the movie or TV show it's from, the name of the actual character, the inches of the character, and any other keywords that you can get in there. Stuffed animal, toy, and anything to do with that particular character. But by creating really super good titles like that, following that formula and cramming it with really good keywords, don't keyword spam. Don't put keywords up there that have nothing to do with what you're listing. Utilize the space that you have. It's valuable real estate for keywords that are actually about what you're listing. There's keyword spamming and then there's cramming keywords. It's two different things. Just make sure you're being honest and only using keywords that describe the item you're selling. And then the item specifics. eBay's really, really big on these item specifics now. They made a huge deal about it at eBay Open. They want you to fill out as many of those item specifics as you can. It helps buyers when they're searching. Remember how I talked about how they filter what they're looking for? Those item specifics help your items show up to buyers who are looking for those types of item specifics. So fill out as many as you can. Get as detailed as you can. And then make sure that you are competitively priced. Don't race to the bottom. Price your item what it's worth. Make sure you're valuing yourself, your time, and your item. If you want to actually do best practices, you should have free shipping and or free returns. One or the other. In rare instances, I won't have either on really heavy items, and that's okay. But like on your first class items that weigh under a pound, go ahead and put free shipping on them. Build it into the price. So if you had a shirt up for $25 and 6 shipping, put it up 31 free shipping and see if you get more sales. On first class items, it's a little bit easier, even though they now charge you for how far it goes, just like priority. They didn't used to do that, but it's a little easier to build it into the price. But try free shipping or try free returns. Try putting best offer on. But do anything that you can to get yourself ahead of the game or ahead of other sellers. Anything you can do that's considered a best practice or a way to promote your item or push it up in the searches. You can also run sales on your items, whether it's 25% off, buy one get one, buy two get free shipping. Utilize your seller hub. Utilize the options that you're given with your store. Go to the promotions, not the promoted listings, that's different. Go to your promotions, do a sale plus markdown, or run some kind of deal. Don't ignore offers, no matter how low ball they are. You should be countering every single one, at least 10, at 10% off or whatever. But don't ignore them and don't decline them. When an item has an offer on it and you counter, it makes the item look desirable to the algorithm, to Cassini, and it pushes you up. So when you ignore these offers or you decline them, you're not giving yourself the opportunity for a free boost in the searches. You want that free boost in the searches. And, I've said this before, but keep your emotions out of it. If you have something up for $100 and they offer you $1 and you let your emotions rule you, you're going to decline it or ignore it. Just counter back with $90 and go on about your day. It takes a second. Your item will shoot up in the searches, I guarantee you. How many of you have ever countered a lowballer and then sold that item at full price that same day or overnight? But that's my advice, and that I can give you guys, is to just make the best listing you can from the title on down through item specifics. Make sure you have really good photographs. Make sure that you're doing sales or free shipping, best offers, anything that gives you that boost in the searches. And even though we may end up, if you keep your promoteds on or turn them off, your organic listings may end up competing with promoted listings, you still might get ahead of the game and you still might be seen in certain searches. So there's that topic. They're going to be showing either or. We don't know how it's going to work. And there will be ways to compete even if you're organic. Everything I just talked about. Now the second issue is the ad blockers. This is going to be pretty brief to talk about. So if you keep your promoted listings on, if you keep them on, not 100% of your listings are going to show up as promoted, allegedly, because they're saying some will show up as organic and some will show up as promoted. So if you keep promoted listings on, or you keep doing that with your store, some of your items should show up as organic. If you turn them off, all your items are organic and you don't have to worry about this at all. But if you have 2,000 items and 1,000 are showing as organic and 1,000 are showing as promoted, then you only have to worry about half of your store being blocked by ad blockers. So it's not your entire inventory, number one. Number two, not everyone in the free world uses an ad blocker. Most people don't. And number three, not every ad blocker being used by the people that use them is blocking promoted listings. So the percentage and the chance of the percentage and the chance of your item being blocked goes down significantly with each of these steps. So first, it's how many of your items are showing up as promoted and how many are showing up as organic. And those go out of the door. They're not even part of this anymore. And then you have all these promoted listings up, but not everyone uses an ad blocker. And not every ad blocker blocks the listings. And let's get serious here. It's 2019 and everybody in the free world has a smartphone, right? And they say that the majority of online shopping and online sales is done mobilely. That's just how the world is today. Most people are shopping on their mobile phone. These ad blockers are on desktop computers and laptops. So if someone's shopping from their computer and they're one of the rare people that has an ad blocker and they happen to have an ad blocker that's going to block the promoted listings, then yes, you won't be seen. But the chances of that I don't think are very high because most people, first of all, shop on their phone. people who do shop on their computer, like me, an old dinosaur, typically don't have ad blockers, and if they do, not all of them are going to block it. And then, you kind of have to wait and see what's going to happen. They've only implemented this new change since last week, and it takes time to see how something is going to pan out, what's going to happen over time. It's only been in place for a week. We got to see what's going to happen. Things may change. You guys remember last year when eBay implemented the change that new listings had to be up for 2 weeks before you could run a sale on it? There was such outrage throughout the community, and so many sellers were just not happy with that, and they got a lot of bad feedback, and they backpedaled on it. They took it away. It's no longer a thing. It's very well that if enough people are concerned or seeing that their promoted listings are being blocked by ad blockers, eBay could backpedal on this too. It's not unheard of. It's unlikely, but it's not unheard of. And again, this is new to them. Promoted listings in general are new to eBay. It's only been a couple of years since they've had the promoted listings as an option for us, and now they're doing this whole brand new thing where it's going to either show organic or promoted. So you got to give them time to work the stuff out, right? So what you can do in the meantime, you have several options. You can turn all your promoted listings off and see what happens. You can leave them all on and see what happens. Or you can experiment and do half and half. Turn half off, leave half on, and experiment. And just kind of give it a little bit of time. You guys, a couple of days is not enough time to have valuable information. If you're running an experiment, you need to give it like 30 days to see what's going to happen. So people that are turning off their promoted listings and saying their sales increased within 1 day, that's nice that your sales increased. That's great. But do we know that it's absolutely because you turned your promoted listings off? 30 days from now, if your sales continue to go up and up and up and stay really well, then you could say it's because I did this. But conducting any kind of experiment isn't, the results that you get can't be 1 day or 2 days. You got to do it for some time and see consistent results to know that it's working. But there's, plenty of things that you can do to experiment, to play around, to see what's going to happen. Just keep in mind that what you see in a couple days or a week may not be related to whatever you're doing, whether you're turning them on or off, and give it some time. The other thing is I think it's just such a shame that we're going into Q4 next week. I feel like every year eBay implements some huge change right before Q4 that affects sellers. And not only does the change itself affect sellers as we go into Q4, but you guys know, everyone knows this, every time eBay is changing anything or starting anything new or doing anything in the background, it's Glitch City. Glitch City. Y'all remember last Friday? Just a couple days ago, last Friday, nobody could print their shipping labels, people couldn't upload their photos, people couldn't see their messages. It was a hot mess. Was it related to the fact that that's the same exact week, only a couple days later, after they implemented their new promoted listings change, organic or promoted? I don't know. But I feel like every time they start to change things, we see glitches, and it's always right before Q4. This is not the time of year to be experimenting with new changes. That's one thing I disagree with, definitely, with eBay. This is just not the time of year to be playing. We're all here to do Q4. We're all here to make sales, but at the end of the day, it's their sandbox, and we got to play in it. I am by no means at all siding with eBay on this, you guys. I'm not a butt kisser. I just tell you how it is. This is what it is. You can decide what you want to do. And again, at the end of the day, whether we agree with it, whether we like it or not, it's eBay's platform. It's much more expensive to get a brick and mortar. So I would rather sell on eBay than get a brick and mortar. It's a nice platform, global, lots of eyeballs on your stuff. And gotta play by their rules, unfortunately. So I know you guys probably will, some of you will ask what me and Keith are doing. So we're going to keep doing what we've always done. What we've been doing for over a year. We run 1% on everything in our store, promoted listing, And we end all of the campaigns every Friday morning and restart them. There is a school of thought out there that you're supposed to put your campaigns into place for promoted listings indefinitely and leave them. I don't agree with that school of thought, only because of my own experience and the experiments that Keith and I did over a year ago. When we left campaigns on indefinitely, you know that graph with the impressions, they would go way down over time, and they would tank, and we would actually see a drop in sales and a drop in how many promoted listings we're selling. When we began to end them every Friday and restart them, not only did we see an increase on the graph for the impressions, but we see a huge boost every Friday. Now, is that a coincidence because it's the weekend? Maybe. But you guys know, if I'm doing something and I see an increase in our sales, I keep doing it. I'm not going to stop doing it, because I think, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I do the store refresh every week, if you guys remember that video last week. Because when I started doing it, I saw an increase in sales almost immediately. Like, as soon as I'm done, I usually get 1 or 2 sales. With the promoted listings, when we left them on indefinitely, eventually they crashed and burned and we saw no activity. Every Friday when I end them and restart them, we immediately see sales and an increase. So for us, that's what works. That's not saying that people in the other school of thought are wrong, but it's wrong for us. It doesn't work for us. So we're just going to keep going along with what we're doing, 1%, unless we see a huge change. Like, if our sales tank, or the rug is pulled out from under us, so to speak, or if we get into Q4 and we're not seeing the amount of sales that we should, then we may consider changing what we're doing and experimenting a little bit more. Let me know in the comments down below what you plan on doing. And if you have already started to experiment, let me know what you've found so far. Like I said, you can't really reliably say that the changes you see within a couple of days or a week are what you're going to see in another week or 2. But I still want to hear what you've seen so far. So let me know what you're doing. Let me know if it's created any kind of change for you. Hit the thumbs up before you guys leave. It really helps our channel. If you haven't already and you'd like to, please subscribe to our channel and help us feed all of our hungry hippos. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. You can look for us on Facebook, Flippin Hippos Reseller Pod, or find the link in the description box down below. Click that, join us over there. And you can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're at Flippin Hippos on all social media. Until next time, guys, have a good night. Go be productive. Get ready for Q4. Bye. Thanks for watching.